Hey everyone, Raelan here. I wanted to do a quick video this week sharing with you about my vision board because I am so excited about it. It is really impossible for me to exaggerate how amazing and what an incredible thing this has been for my life. And when I was planning this video, I was thinking, how am I going to get it across to people just really how incredible it is? Because it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it's been such a game changer for me, and I'm so excited about it, and I'm so glad I did it. I wish I would have done these years ago, but better late than never. And I just really want to get across how much something like this can be a force in your life. So in this video, I'm going to briefly go over three things. One, why this is relevant to chronic fatigue syndrome or ME/CFS, because that is typically the content of this channel. And then two, some of the benefits that people in general report getting from vision boards and some of the things that I have already found that I have gotten from mine. And then three, some tips on how to make one. Some things that I learned from watching videos before I made mine, and then some things that I learned while making mine that I think would be helpful for others to know, especially for people with lower energy who have to conserve that energy and find ways to do it quickly and easily. All right, so why is this relevant for ME/CFS? I think this is relevant in so many ways. I think it can be among the most important things that you do when you're trying to overcome something massive like chronic illness, because it can be very challenging to hold on to hope. It can be very challenging to hold on to the reason why you're doing things, to hold on to your focus, to find ways to get up and keep working on those things that you know that you need to do every single day if you want to get fully past this. So I think this is such a powerful tool for healing, and I really hope and I really encourage that anyone who can manage to make a vision board will strongly consider it, or have someone, a friend or a family member, to help you to make one, because I think it's a really powerful tool. And what are some of the benefits that people report and that I've found? There are a lot. One of them being is that you are harnessing the power of your mind when you do something like this, and I think many of us are coming to appreciate how powerful our minds are in terms of achieving our goals, in terms of our health, in terms of our happiness. So it's using visualization. I mean, by keeping it someplace where you see it all the time. You know, my vision board is on my living room wall above my TV. It ruins the aesthetic of my living room, and I can be a little bit finicky about that, but for me, it's worth it. Just having it there to see every day just really gives me so many micro moments throughout the day where I take a moment and I use visualization to imagine myself achieving the goals that are up there. By making this and by having this personalized vision board, it creates an emotional connection with the things that motivate you. And I found that by having these things that I want, these things that I dream about, up on the wall in my face, it makes them feel more real and more achievable, as opposed to just having them in my head. And it's been incredible for focus. So I've got all different sorts of goals and different dreams up on my vision board, and it helps me to stay on track. So, I mean, I have goals up there around health and fitness. So if I'm thinking about skipping my walk or skipping my workout or eating some junk food, I just glance up at that board and I remember what I'm working towards, and I remember how healthy and strong I want to be. Or I have financial goals and travel goals up there. So if I'm thinking about spending money on something frivolous and I look up there and I see that board, I remember the bigger picture of where I'm trying to get, and that the small little quick rewards every day aren't going to get me towards my bigger long-term goals. So it helps me to stay on track, to make some small sacrifices every day so I can get those bigger things in the future. Just imagine this. Imagine having this up on your wall right now, and you have images up there that are meaningful to you. And every time you look at it, you imagine yourself strong, healthy, doing all the things that you want to be doing. And this isn't just once a day. If you have it someplace where you see it, you're going to see it multiple times a day. And multiple times a day, you're going to put your focus on those things you're trying to achieve. And by doing that, that hope comes back in you, and that focus and that fuel and that motivation, and also harnessing the power of your mind to get you there, to start believing that those things are real, to internalize that these things are going to be a part of your life. And I think it just really helps everything sort of come together and get you going in the right direction. So a vision board motivates you. It fills you with hope. It reminds you of all that is still to come in your life, because it can be easy to think that where you are right now and how things are right now is how they're always going to be, when we know this isn't the case. So having that concrete picture up on our wall of a future that's waiting for us can be really powerful. It also helps me with my day-to-day stress. So if I'm feeling bored or stressed at work, or just whatever it is that might be causing me stress in that moment, I just glance up at that board and I smile. And the things up there just fill me with some happiness, which is going to help us with things like our autonomic nervous system and keeping our parasympathetic nervous system engaged, so that we are in that relaxed state that we need to be in, so that our body can do what it needs to do to take care of us long term. It's also an opportunity to really think about your goals, because how often do we really think about where we're trying to go and specifically what we want to get out of our life? So this is a chance to get really concrete and really specific about, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to be in a few years from now? I think it's a great creative outlet. It makes me happy every time I look up at it and I see that I made that. And it's a great daily reminder of where I want to be, of what my goals are, and gets me thinking about what I need to do to get there. Now, is a vision board magic? Are you going to create a vision board and suddenly all of your dreams will come true? All of your problems will disappear? No, it is not a magic board. It is just a board. You still have to put the work in. It's still only one piece. The vision board only works if you do. You and your vision board are a team, but it is such a powerful team member to have working with you. So I really, really encourage you, if this sounds at all intriguing to you, to give it a shot, because I think it is such an incredible tool in life to help us get where we want to go. All right, so down to how to actually make it. Now, it is fairly straightforward, but there are a few considerations to think about when making it, and some things that will help you to make it more easily that I learned from my experience in making mine. Now, I made my vision board a 2-year vision board-ish. It's not concrete. It's not going to expire exactly 2 years after I made it, but around 2 years, because I thought, if I make it just this big life plan, it's just going to be too grand and it's going to be too obscure and things will feel too unattainable. It's really hard to work for a goal for me that's 20 years away. So keeping it to about 2 years felt like a good amount of time. So pick your amount of time, if it's 2 years or however long, but think of something sort of specific and then sit down and make a list. Don't just start grabbing pictures and throwing things together all willy-nilly. You gotta actually have a plan, because this is important. This is where you wanna end up in life. So put some thought into what that is going to look like. And for me, I did it with categories. I thought about the categories in my life that are important to me, and I put headings for each, like finances, health, travel, career, personal development, hobbies, and so forth. And then I listed specific things below each one. So if it's finances, I don't just put, investments up there or save money. I put a specific number. How much money do I want to save in the next 2 years? And I reach a little bit, like I make it a bit of a grand goal, but I also make it attainable. So I didn't put $1 billion up there. Of course, I'd love to have $1 billion in 2 years, but putting that up on my board is probably going to feel so far out of reach that it's not going to motivate me. So after you've got your list, I know some people make vision boards using magazines, but I think a far more efficient way to do this is just to get pictures off the internet. Magazines are costly. You're going to have to get a lot of them and then just hope that the pictures that you want are going to be in those magazines, and then there's a lot of waste. So I found that just if you have a printer, you can print them yourself, or you can send them off to some sort of printing shop. I printed them at home, and I bought photo paper for mine because I wanted it to look good. I don't want to look at something up on the wall that kind of looks like a second grader made it. I wanted something that looked kind of nice and polished and professional. So I got matte photo paper and a large poster board, and then I found the images online and collected them in a folder and then printed them all off. Now, one thing I didn't do, which I would highly recommend if you can afford it, is to get one of those paper cutter things. Do you know what I'm talking about? You put the paper in and it's got a sliding blade and it gives you a nice straight edge. I would imagine you could probably get one for about $5. Because by the time I was done cutting out all of those pictures, my hand was cramped and hurting and sore. It took a really long time. So if you can just order on Amazon or something, one of those paper cutters, I think it will be worth its weight in gold. Now my vision board is quite big. And my husband, Jeffrey, and I actually split it because we were both excited about making a vision board. So this is another tip I would have, or a suggestion. If you have someone in your life who you live with, who's important to you, you could make a joint vision board. If that sounds like something that would make sense for you. For us, we thought it was a great idea and we were both really excited about it. However, he only ended up having 5 pictures that he wanted to put up. They covered most big areas in life, so that's all he needed. But it didn't take up a lot of space. So about 3/4 of the board I filled with my pictures, and then he sort of has a strip down the side. But even with us sharing this, it ended up taking quite a long time to print the pictures, cut the pictures, kind of figure out how to arrange them on the board so they looked okay, and get them all stuck on. So if you have limited energy or time, a suggestion I would have would be to use a smaller board. Or if you want it really big like this, but don't have a lot of energy, use much bigger pictures. Don't go crazy like me. I have 24 pictures on my side. I don't need 24 pictures. So if you want to make this more feasible, just limit the number of images, get more specific with the photos you choose, and then print them in a much bigger size, and you'll be able to put your vision board together much more quickly. Also, get some 2-sided tape. You don't want to be messing around with glue or with regular tape and having to make those little tape rolls and things to get everything to stick. Having 2-sided tape really helped a ton. And in your images, if you can, or if you feel like it, you can add a little bit of text. I wouldn't recommend putting a lot of text because then your vision board is going to get sort of overwhelming and you're not going to be able to read it all and take it all in. But on some of my images, I added some text. So like around investments, I put a specific number. I even took for my YouTube channel and I put a screenshot of my YouTube channel up there and then photoshopped in how many subscribers I wanted to have. So in some of them, when the pictures aren't clear, having those words can really help to remind you of what your goal is when you look at it. And get specific with all of your pictures. If your goal is to travel, don't just put a picture of a plane up there. Put a picture of a specific country or a flag or a beach or someplace that you want to get to. And your images that you put up there, it might not be clear to anyone else, but as long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters. And if you're like me and you like everything to look a little bit neat and polished when it's done, for my vision board, because it would have been an impossible feat to try and get all the pictures to line up perfectly and cover every inch of the space. But I also didn't want big open gaps. So I printed underwater diving scene. I would suggest just print something neutral, just a big sheet of it, and then you can cut out pieces and use that to fill the gaps on your board so it looks all full and finished and awesome when you're done. And that's it. We have ours hung up on the wall with a shoelace that's just glued to the back, and we just have it hung up on the wall over our TV, and we see it every day, and it makes Jeffrey and I smile every single day. I probably look at my vision board at least 10 times a day. It has been really exciting for me, and I get excited to sort of check some of those images off on there. I'm not going to actually write on the board, but I imagine myself almost like a bingo card. I wanted to start knocking them off, and I'm really excited to be like, oh, got that one, got that one. It's just impossible to exaggerate how motivating and how wonderful this has been for my life. All right. Now, as I wrap up this video, as promised, before I go, I will show you some of the specific things that I put on my board. I won't show you Jeffrey's because those are his goals and that's his business to share, but I'm happy to show you mine. So I have goals around places I want to visit, that I want to continue to move around the world and live in different countries and be an expat. I have pictures of places that I want to visit in the US while I'm still living here. I want to go to New York. I want to go to LA. I want to go to 2 beaches before the next 2 years is done. I want to go scuba diving. I would love to move into a new apartment. I'd love to start painting again, which requires a new apartment. I'd love to make 3 new friends because moving to San Francisco in the time of COVID has made it very challenging to make friends. I have some fitness goals. My husband and I have been married for almost a couple years. We still don't have engagement rings or wedding rings, so I'd love to get that knocked out. I would love to start a podcast. I have some goals around people that I want to interview on this channel. So let's see if this manifesting works. Putting it out there that these people will be receptive to my requests to take part in this. Investment goals, goals around things that I want to buy, and so forth. So that's it. There's my vision board. I am ridiculously excited about it, and I hope that now, after watching this video, you're ridiculously excited about making yours as well. And I would love to know in the comments, what are some of the things that you would put on your vision board? I think it will be exciting and spark ideas for other people who are watching this video to see, and I'd love to see it myself as well. And if you enjoyed this, I'll link a video up on the screen here for another video that I also think that you are going to love. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.